So the way this is going to work is I'm going to see how the poll does throughout the day because I'm going to have other people from the other class come in. If you guys all together get 60% of the questions right, meaning that 50% or more of you get the questions right, then you guys get extra credit. Like you guys, every single person gets 5 points of extra credit right away too. Christina. Hold on. What's that?
Okay, what is the, you sent to our email?
Yeah, I might not have sent
the link. I don't have it because the only thing I have, and it's like a YouTube video, I think.
Oh wait. Oh, because you know what? You're not on the group. Let me forward it to you.
Okay. Should you send it to me?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, thank you, Neach.
Okay, just sent it to everybody again. Okay, so if you did not get it, okay, so, all right, everyone good? So once you click on that link, it's going to say, it'll say like, I need to put out the presentation, right? So I'm going to put the first question on there. You guys just answer it and we'll see how many questions we get right, all right? So I press start, so it should be starting right now. So you guys just answer the first question, which is, technology is a demand or supply shifter. Technology is a demand or supply shifter. And then you just answer the question. Technology is the demand or supply shifter. Okay, so I think I have almost everybody. There's just one more person who needs to vote. There we go. Okay, so Marisol's back in. Technology is a demand or supply shifter. I am unmuting. I'm unmuting you all. What is it? Demand or supply? Who knows?
Demand. I don't know.
It's supply.
It's a supply shifter.
Called it.
Supply shifter. 7 of you said demand. 4 of you said supply.
That's because that's what Google told me.
We're off to a good start.
That's probably why you
a supply
Google it.
shifter?
This is why you use your study guide.
Thank you. You guys have a study guide?
Do it.
We have a study guide?
Yes.
Save this.
I did it all once. I will share my study guide. No, I'm just kidding.
Just
Share my
look at
study.
Google.
Share your
Like,
study guide.
Google Classroom is literally, it has a study guide. You guys have the answers right there. I don't understand. Go look
I'm
at
sorry, Neach.
Wait,
I
that's
spent like
actually
an
study?
hour, or I spent 2 hours actually doing your study guide because I went
Good.
and looked in
That's
the
what
book
you
for all
should
the
be
answers.
doing. That's what you should be doing. All
I'm
right.
gonna spend 5 hours.
So that's the first one. So it is supply. That is the correct answer. Supply is the correct answer because supply is the only thing that matters when technology, if it gets better or worse, it affects supply because suppliers can make or make something easier. They can make something more efficiently so it can help their supply. That is the reason why it does not affect demand, it affects supply. Yes, Chris.
But Mr. Neach, if there is something faulty with the product, then won't the demand go down as well?
That's not what it means by technology. That means an advancement in making it easier to produce something.
Oh, okay.
So it's not saying like technology. You see, again, you can't overthink it. There are 5 demand ones, and don't say what they are, or 8 supply ones, and you guys need to memorize them. Okay. So it's not about like technology getting better, like a MacBook getting better, for example, right? It's not like MacBooks get better and the demand gets better. That's not necessarily what it means. That's consumer taste and advertising, right? Because they're telling people, hey, we have a better MacBook. But if they made a machine that made MacBooks easier and cheaper to produce, then they would do that. Does that make sense?
I have a question.
Yeah, Christina.
How are we going to take the exam?
It's on. So, okay, I guess I didn't explain how we're going to take the exam. It's online. I'm posting it today. It's all online. There are 30 multiple choice questions. There are two short answers, and one essay. There's no time limit on it. You guys can go back whenever you feel like. You can only take it once, but once you turn it in, that's it. But you guys have all weekend until Sunday to finish it.
And we have all our resources?
You guys have everything. So you have all your
Okay.
So you guys have everything that you're gonna need. You have your
Basically
your,
the book and the slides.
you have
That's all you
books,
need.
slides, study guides, everything. You guys, it's open book. Okay, so you guys but this is again, it's worth it for you guys to study to know this stuff, so that way you don't have to go to your book and look through it and.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I'm doing the next question. You guys should be able to see it on your link now. Too. Cost that does not change is a fixed cost, variable cost, or marginal cost. Cost that does not change is a fixed cost, variable cost, or marginal cost.
Wait, can you see who puts what as an answer?
No, I can only see how many people voted for what.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Wait, cost that does not change.
Cost that does not change is a fixed cost, variable cost, or marginal cost. Again, if you just joined us, go to your link that I sent you all. Click on that link, and it should have the bring you to the question we're on right now.
What you in there, buddy?
Ice cream, yo. All right, 8 people have voted out of the 12 I need.
Lucky. I haven't had ice cream in. Oh.
If you can't buy it, make it, Uriel. It's not that hard.
I'll see what I have in the fridge in the pantry and see if I can make it.
All right, I'm muting everybody again. Okay, so let's see. So I think we basically have everyone we're going to do. It is a fixed cost. Fixed cost is the correct answer, all right? When you have a cost of something and there's no change in whatever that thing is, that is a fixed cost, okay? Across the board, that is a fixed cost. So you guys are one out of 2 right now. 1 out of 2. All right, let's go on to the next question. Regulations are a demand or supply shifter. Regulations are a demand or a supply shifter. Again, this is for if you guys do not get 60% of your questions right, I do not give anyone extra credit. If you all get 60% of them right, then you all get 5 points of extra credit. Every single person in both 5th and 6th period. And let me know if you guys have questions about this, or after we're done with it. You just message me in chat. All right, put your votes in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, perfect. I think we got everybody. So it is a supply shifter. Supply. So when you have a shifter, like if you have regulations could affect these questions are going to be on the test, Chris. So yeah, you better study. The regulations are a essential part of government function. So if you regulate something, more than likely it's going to cost you more to make that thing. So if you have medicine, for example, medicine costs a ton of money because there are a lot of regulations on medicine. It costs a lot of money. You have to use certain materials. You have to get certain materials that cost a little bit more. So the regulations cost more. If you have more regulations, you have more. It's going to affect supply. Your supply is going to go down the more regulations have. If you have less regulations, you're going to have more of that thing. So it's really easy to, like, for example, to make clothes. Clothes usually are not regulated as much as certain industries. However, you have to make clothes out of certain things. You couldn't make them out of hay, for example, unless that was specifically made for that purpose. You couldn't tell somebody, like, for example, you can't say something is cotton when it's cloth. You can't say that, or leather. You have to tell people when there's real leather or fake leather. All those things are regulated. Those are regulations that the government has. So that is, regulations are a big part of that. Let's go to the next one. Which of these is not a condition of monopolistic competition? Many firms, differentiated products, few artificial barriers to entry, and full control over price. I will give you guys time for this. This is directly a question from your book. If you want a hint, I'll give you guys some more time on this one. Which of these, you guys got to remember monopolistic competition. Which of these are not a condition of monopolistic competition? Many firms, differentiated products, few artificial barriers to entry, or full control over price. Give you guys a couple more minutes. All right, I have 9 people who voted. I need 3 more to vote. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. I will have to hold off on this because we have a tie between the correct answer and the not correct answer. The correct answer is full control over price. The problem with monopolistic competition, or at least the goal of monopolistic competition, is that people do not have, if they're in a monopolistic competition, for example, cell phone companies, they do not have full control over the price of their product because they're competing against other companies. They have this firm control over that price in some way. They have some control over price, but not full control over price. Some companies can kind of match each other. Like, for example, cable companies like DirecTV, Comcast, Cox Cable, all those are all, Time Warner, all those are monopolistic competition because there's only a certain amount of them that do it, and they only have their prices aren't that different from each other. Maybe a couple, $20 here or there, depends on what you get, but you're basically getting the same thing. And they kind of set it up like that so that way they're not overly doing whatever competition that they have. Monopolies have full control over price because they're the only people who are making decisions. So, all right, next one. Subsidies are a demand or supply shifter. Subsidies are a demand or supply shifter. Okay, one more person just needs to vote. Perfect. Okay, you guys got this one right. Supply. Okay, it is a supply shifter. And subsidies, if it is government controlled, if the government has anything to do with anything, usually it is when it comes to supply more than demand. Demand, they kind of leave people alone for the most part. Demand has everything to do with us as consumers. Yeah, well, Jesus just kind of asked a question, good question. Are subsidies kind of like tax breaks? In a way, but they're more like direct payments. So, for example, farmers are heavily subsidized. Do you guys know why? Does anyone know why? I'm going to unmute if somebody wants to answer. You guys can unmute yourselves if you want to answer that too. Does anyone know why farmers are heavily subsidized? No? Bueller? No. Okay, so I'll tell you guys. The reason why farmers are heavily subsidized is because they can't work 4 months out of the year. And if they're not making money, then what are they going to do? They work 4 months out of the, they work 8 months out of the year. They can't work 4 or so, maybe a little less than that. But what are they going to do for income during those months? They can't really do anything. And we need farmers. We need food. So what do they have to do? The government has to subsidize their income in order to make sure that they can make a livable wage and continue to farm. That's what we want. We want farmers to keep farming. So that's why the government heavily subsidizes them, because it's a tough job, 1, and 2, they can't do it year round. So what are you going to do? You got to make sure that's there. I've allowed you guys to unmute yourself, but please keep yourself muted as much as possible. Unless you have a question, then let me know. So, all right, let's go to the next one. I like this next one. The toilet paper crisis is a perfect example of what? The toilet paper crisis is a perfect example of what? Supply or surplus or shortage? Surplus or shortage? I should have said the great toilet paper crisis of 2020 is an example of what? I need 4 more people to answer that. One more person. Yeah, there we go. Everyone got this correct. It is a shortage. Shortage. You guys are living through it, and if you see it right now, it's just how many people can't buy toilet paper. It is a shortage because there's a huge demand and a very limited supply. Uriel. You have it. Your mic. Oh no, nothing. Yeah. But this is a perfect example of that. Like, people are freaking out buying toilet paper by the masses. So like, people can't buy toilet paper, and people are having a hard time finding it. So it's like gold right now, basically. If you find a big thing of toilet paper. So this is a shortage. So we are right now in the middle of that shortage. It's really hard to find anything like that. And that's because toilet paper companies were not expecting this amount of demand for toilet paper. And mostly it's just because like we're not even like running out of toilet paper. It's just because people will buy it, and everyone freaks out and collectively buys it at once. So I don't know, it's crazy. So, but yeah, this is a shortage. So very good. Let's go on to the next one. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Next one. Future expectation of prices are a demand or supply shifter. Future expectation of prices is a demand or a supply shifter. Okay, so this one is actually false. Or not false. You guys got it wrong. You all said demand. It is not demand. It is supply. The future expectation of prices. There is a difference between that and the other one that I think you guys are thinking of, which is, hold on, let me double check. I'm pretty sure this is, because there's consumer expectations, which is different. That is, like, at some point you're expecting that, but the suppliers also have this too. Consumer expectations are different than future expectation of prices, if that makes sense. This is a supply factor, okay? Got you. So, is everyone good with that? Does everyone understand that, or do you guys have any questions? No? Okay. Let's go on to the next one. Sorry, we're only at number 7. Wow. It's going to take a while to get through these. Which of these is there a surplus of? Paper towels, hotel rooms, eggs, or toilet paper? And this means right now. Which of these is there a surplus of right now? Paper towels, toilet paper, eggs, or hotel rooms? Let's see. We need 2 more people to vote. Two more people, please. Or do you need one more person, maybe? Okay, there we go. I think we got everybody. It is hotel rooms. So you guys are correct. 10 people voted for hotel rooms. 2 said eggs. Eggs, we actually don't. There is a shortage of eggs. It's not as bad as toilet paper, but I saw a bunch of eggs at Costco. So I don't know what people were talking about. But apparently there's a semi-shortage of eggs right now, or at least they're worried there might be in the future. The one that is in surplus right now, though, we just have a huge amount of them, is hotel rooms. Nobody's buying hotel rooms right now, and airline tickets counting that and stuff. But I didn't put airline tickets because honestly, like right now, you know, they're illegal. Like you can't travel anywhere really. So, you know, they're like, that's the different than there's just being a surplus right now. No one wants to stay at a hotel room, and many hotels are shut down right now. But nobody wants to stay at one. So there's a surplus right now in hotel rooms and where you can stay at certain hotels and stuff. So yeah, there is a surplus of hotels because there's no demand right now for hotel rooms. Okay, next one. Changes in the global economy is a demand or supply shifter. And I'll be right back. Answer this one really quickly. I'm going to come right back. All right. Let's see what we got. Okay, changes in global economy is a demand or supply shifter. 6 of you voted demand, 5 of you voted supply. It is 5. Or the 5. It is supply. More so than demand. All right. So again, you guys really got to make sure you study up on your supply shifters or demand shifters. Anthony and Judith, you guys are just joining us. James, you're joining us as well. So let's see. All right. So if you're just joining us, go ahead and click on that poll link that I gave you guys. You should be able to join us in the middle of the poll we have right now. You can start answering for the next one at least. And I think we're not doing so hot right now too. I don't know how this is looking for extra credit right now. So make sure you guys pick it up. Next one. Standardized quality is an advantage of what? Corporations, nonprofits, franchises, and assets. And what this means is I'll give you guys just example of this. It means everything is the same no matter where you go into it. That makes sense. Like it's the same exact thing that you're expecting every time you go into this place or these kind of places. Standardized quality is an advantage of which of these type of businesses? And I'll give you guys, so we have 15 people in right now. I should have 14 votes. So I need 4 people still to vote. It might be the other people who are just getting on. So, okay, perfect. 2 more, then we'll start. Okay, I think we got basically everybody. It is franchises. It is franchises. You guys put corporations though, okay? It's franchises. When you go into a franchise, meaning that like it's not just the corporation. McDonald's doesn't own all outright own all the McDonald's in the country. It's just too big. It's too expansive. However, anytime you walk into a McDonald's in the United States, you can basically expect the same exact quality of whatever you're getting, right? The same exact thing. You're expecting the same level of quality, whatever it is, the same taste, everything. There's a standard that you go into. Same thing with Starbucks. Starbucks, you are expecting the same exact drink. When you go into a Starbucks, it is owned, but that, however, is not franchised. But it's the same sort of idea, right? Actually, no, Starbucks could be franchised too, I think. It's not like I think for the ones like Target and things like that, those can be franchised too. But for the most part, you're expecting the same experience every time you go to a Starbucks or McDonald's or anything like that. That's why franchises have the advantage, because even though somebody else owns some McDonald's, they still are getting the same McDonald's experience. You can't tell the difference between who owns a McDonald's or who doesn't, like which ones are corporate or which ones are franchised. That's the whole point. It's like you go into that not expecting a difference between those. All right, next one. Consumer expectations is a demand or supply shifter. Consumer expectations is a demand or supply shifter. Okay, and I still got, so 5 people have voted so far. Eight people, 10 people. Need 3 more votes. 2 more votes. I'll give you 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, perfect. You guys got this one right. It is demand. Consumer expectations is a demand. When you are a consumer, if your expectations are of a certain price at a certain point, or you're expecting that price to drop at some point, like if you're like right now, like you might not want to buy gas, right? Because you're expecting the price of gas to keep going down, 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 down. And you're hoping to get it as cheap as possible, basically. Or you might like wait to buy like a bike from somewhere. Obviously, you can't really buy anything from places right now, but you're expecting later on that you're going to be able to buy something and maybe buy it cheaper because, you know, maybe our economy's not doing so well. So like it might be cheaper to buy it. So you never really know. Okay. Next ones. The number of suppliers is a demand or supply shifter. The number of suppliers is a demand or supply shifter. Okay. And I think we just need 2 more people to vote. Two or 3 more. Okay. So I think everyone voted. There's just one person. There we go. It is a supply shifter. The number of suppliers is a supply shifter, which should be pretty obvious. All right. If you are supplying something and you are not meeting that, if there's not enough suppliers supplying your supply, then you have an issue. Okay. So that's a supply shifter. Next one. The desire to own something and the ability to pay for it is what? Supply, law of demand, or income effect. The desire to own something and the ability to pay for it is what? All right, I need one more person to vote. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So this is a tie right now. It is not income effect. It is not supply, and it is not law of demand. It is demand. Okay, straight up demand. If you have the desire to buy something and the ability to pay for it, you have met the demand of whatever product you want to get. Okay, if I wanted to buy another Lego set and I have the money to pay for it, then that is meeting the demand that I'm setting forth. Okay, so that is demand. Law of demand is different. That might actually be a question coming up. You guys might want to study that. Next one. When a good's price is lower, consumers will buy more of it. What is this? Supply, law of demand, demand, or income effect? So it's basically the same sort of question. When a good's price is lower, consumers will buy more of it. What is this? Is either supply, law of demand, demand, or income effect. Okay, so just need 3 more people to vote. Okay, it looks like you guys will get this. It is the law of demand. Law of demand. All right. So when price is lower, people will want more of whatever that thing is. That's just, that's the law of demand. Which if it is lower, people will just want more of whatever that thing is. So you're more than likely going to have that. If you keep raising the price, people are going to want to buy less of whatever it is. That's just the way it works. Okay, good. Next, a consumer's reaction to there we go. A consumer's reaction to the rise in the price of one good by consuming less of that good and more of a substitute good is called what? Income effect, money effect, or substitution effect? Okay, I'll give you guys I need 2 more people to vote, and then we can start. Okay, one more person. Okay, so it is the substitute effect, and you guys got that correct. The substitute is a substitute good. So, like, if you were, for example, if Oreos raised up their price by like, I don't know, like $5, a bunch of people wouldn't buy Oreos anymore. They would either buy the knockoff brand Oreos from like Safeway, which is a substitute good, or they just buy something else like Chips Ahoy or any of those other like candy or cookie flavored things that they get in the grocery store, right? Pre-made, pre-packaged cookies. People aren't just going to buy Oreos just because. The idea is that if you keep raising this price and there's an alternative to that product, I mean, this is what Kirkland does, right? Or Safeway. Safeway has a bunch of products that are knockoff brands of whatever, cereal, snacks, anything like that. But they're basically the same thing. They're just different. They're not the same brand as whatever people are raising up. So that's why the substitute effect, this is a perfect example of that kind of thing. So next one. The cost of water for your house is elastic or inelastic? The cost of water for your house is elastic or inelastic? Oh, this one's going to split people. Elastic or inelastic? Need 5 more people to vote. Okay. Oof. Okay. So 7 people said elastic, 6 people said inelastic. It is inelastic. Inelastic. The more you are willing to pay for something, no matter what the cost is, but however necessary it is inelastic. Meaning that it is not going to, you're going to pay a bunch of money until it is completely like you can't, like basically until it breaks you, because you need water in your house. And no matter how much it costs, you're pretty much going to pay for that stuff no matter what. Elastic is where you're, even if it raises a little bit, you're probably not going to pay for that thing anymore. So for like Disney Plus, for example, Disney Plus is probably elastic, meaning that like if you continually try to if they continually try to raise the price, more people are probably not going to buy that product anymore, right? Especially right now when there's not that much new stuff coming out and things like that. So, all right, next. This one is interesting. I might not count this one, but when I put it together, it sounded interesting. Ben and Jerry's ice cream is more likely elastic or inelastic. Elastic or inelastic. Five more people still need to vote. Let's go. One more person. Okay, there we go. It is elastic. So you guys got this one correct. So again, elastic is Ben and Jerry's is elastic. It is not going to be there's a ton of other flavors. So if Ben and Jerry's decides it's already pretty expensive and there's not much of it. So if you are going to what was I gonna say? If you are going to buy Ben and Jerry's, and they've raised their price by like $3, you're probably gonna look at it and go like, why am I gonna buy that? I can just buy another flavor like Dryers and get more of it. Like, why am I gonna do that? However, Ben and Jerry's is amazing. But that is more likely it is elastic, meaning that it is you're not gonna spend a ton of money until you start buying something else and the demand is going to go down heavily. So, all right, next. And if you just joined us too, just click on the poll link that I gave to you guys that I sent you in an email and just follow along. You're keeping up with the question that we have right now. You can join in at whatever point. So 18, the amount of goods available is supply, income effect, demand, or substitution effect. Supply, income effect, demand, or substitution effect. What is the amount of goods available? The amount of goods available is. So I need to see 14 votes, I think. And again, if you have any questions, just stop me and we can go back and talk about it if people are confused or whatever it might be. So I still need 4 people to vote. So please vote now. $12, $13. I need one more person to vote. Okay. The amount of goods available is supply. That is the correct answer, is supply. So good. Most of you just got this. Again, it's pretty straightforward. The amount of goods you have, that is your supply. That's it. Okay. Next one. Costs that rise and fall depend on the quantity of the product. Is a fixed cost, variable cost, or marginal cost. This one's tough. This one I might switch also. All right, I still need 3 more people to vote. Okay, perfect. So variable cost is the correct answer. Is variable cost. It is not a fixed cost. Fixed cost is one we had before. That is where it's not a changing cost, basically. Marginal cost is where you look at the margins and you look at how close you are to hitting your certain numbers. Variable cost means it all depends on like how much of supply you have of whatever. So for example, if you have a bunch of toilet paper and your forest burns down, toilet paper, then you might have variable costs. Like you don't have a fixed cost anymore because it just depends on where your supply comes from and all that other stuff. So, or fish, for example, fish is like if you ever go to a restaurant and it says market price or whatever, if you go to a restaurant and for a fish, it ever says market price on the side, that means that cost is all dependent on what is happening in the marketplace at that point. So they can cost whatever the fish costs, whatever it needs to cost at any given time. So, all right, next one. Excessive demand is surplus, shortage, or equilibrium. Surplus, shortage, or equilibrium. What is excessive demand? If you're just joining us too, you guys can go to the link I sent you to the poll. You can take the poll. And we are trying to get through most of these questions. There's a lot of questions. For those of you who are in 5th period, if you guys need to leave, Vasquez, what are you doing? If you are in 5th period and you need to leave and you don't want to stay anymore, that's totally fine. I'm going to post this video so that way you guys have if you want to go through these questions again, you can hear the ones that you missed. I'm going to find a way to figure out how to post the poll. I think I can do that where I can send it to you guys. I could send you the link to show you how that's done. But I at least will give you that. I'll also give you the Jeopardy from last year that we did, so that way if you guys want to study for it, you can. But again, if you missed what I said about the final is 30 multiple choice questions. Maybe it's 35. 35 multiple choice. Actually sounds right. No, it's 30. It's 30 multiple choice. 2 short answers. It's 2 short answers and an essay. You guys have no time limit on it. You guys can take it whenever. It's on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. It is due. So you're more than welcome to do that. If you are joining us, go ahead and log on to the poll that I sent you guys. You'll be able to pick up to where we left off. You can actually answer the question we have right now, which is excessive demand is what? Surplus, shortage, or equilibrium. So look on your email. Make sure that you guys are looking at that. If you are in 5th period and you need to leave, you're more than welcome to leave. And you're good. For those who are in 6th or just joining us, make sure you guys stay for a bit so that way you can study for this. Again, I am posting the video and I'm going to try to figure out a way to post the poll as well so that way you guys have it and you're good to go. So does anyone have any questions? All right, Judith, I'll see you later. Okay, so I will see you guys. For those who are leaving, I'll see you all later. For those who are just joining us, we're going to start again. But again, excessive demand is surplus, shortage, or equilibrium. Surplus, shortage, or equilibrium. I can see right away what you guys are answering. I cannot see, if you're wondering, I cannot see what you answer. I can just see just how many people voted for what. I don't know where we stand right now in terms of extra credit. I said 60% of you guys need to get 60% of the questions right. And I don't know how that's going. Some are doing well, some are better than others. So hopefully we're at 60% of the questions right now. So again, if you're just, so we have a bunch of people who are leaving and joining. So if you're just joining, I should have mostly 6th period people, and then Reyes is in here. Pam just got in, Eileen just got in, a couple other people. But again, go log onto the poll that I gave to you guys, and then we will. Then I'll be able to like show you how. Like then you'll be able to follow along with the poll that we have. Okay. So the question is, excessive demand is what? Surplus, shortage, or equilibrium? And the correct answer is actually shortage. It is a shortage. That's excessive demand. Like you're seeing right now with toilet paper, there's an excessive demand of toilet paper right now. So there's a shortage of toilet paper. So that is why you're seeing this happening right now. All right, we'll go on to the next one. The point of balance at which the quantity supplied equals the quantity demanded is surplus, shortage, or equilibrium. Surplus, shortage, or equilibrium. Okay. So again, make sure you guys answer. Try to log on. There should be. I should have 12 people in. I should have 11 people voting right now. I have 8 people right now, so I need 3 of you to make sure you vote or get on and vote. I'll probably move on really quickly so that we can go on to the next one. You just give there we go. We just need one more person. There we go. All right, equilibrium is the correct answer. All of you got this one right. So it is equilibrium. So make sure that you guys are paying attention to that. If you're just joining, go to the poll that I sent you guys and the link. You'll be able to follow along and go into the next one. So it is equilibrium. Price when the price and the demand and the supply meet in the middle. That little dot in the middle is the equilibrium, and that's where you get your price. All right, next. When excess supply is more than the quantity demanded, the actual price is higher than equilibrium. Is this a shortage, surplus, or equilibrium? Shortage, surplus, or equilibrium? When excess supply is more than quantity demanded, the actual price is higher than equilibrium, and the actual price is higher than equilibrium. Is this a surplus, shortage, or equilibrium? Let me try to take attendance too. So George is in. I don't see Delgado. Is Delgado in? Delgado in? No. No, Renee. Allie. I don't see Allie, so. No, Alina. Antonio's here. Rachel's here. Nava, I don't see. Anthony, I don't see. Pam's here. Myra was here. Eileen is here. I don't see Vanessa. Evelyn's here. Dulce. Myra and Monique is here. Okay. There we go. There's Delgado. Okay. So again, log on to that link, and then I'll get you guys. I think I've taken attendance for everybody. Let me know if there's an issue, but I should have everybody on there. Okay. So again, log into that poll link. We'll go on to the next one. Rent control is a form of what? Price floor or price ceiling? Rent control is a form of price floor or price ceiling? Rent control is a form of price floor or price ceiling? have 8 votes right now. I need 13. We have 13 people in. I need 12 or 13 people to be able to vote on this. So make sure if you're logging in to the poll, and again, if you have any questions, you can stop me. Just message me in chat. I'll be able to do that. And then, where's whose iPhone? Wait, whose iPhone?
Stop.
Who's on the iPhone? Sonia.
Me, Ali.
Oh, it's Allie. Okay. All right, Allie. Allie. Sonia. I know I had Jimena also show up. Okay, sorry. Let me make sure that we're good. Okay, so everyone who just got on, make sure you guys go to the poll that I have. Take a vote on the question. We have 18 people in right now, so we should have 17 votes eventually. For this next one, the next one will have 17. But for right now, so this is rent control is a form of price ceiling. You don't want rent to go too high for some people because they just can't afford it. It's not affordable. So it's a price ceiling now that you're putting on that. So it can't go above a certain point. Okay. So the next one, minimum wage. Minimum wage is a form of price floor or price ceiling. Minimum wage is a form of price floor or price ceiling. So again, if you just logged on, go to the link I sent you guys, log into that poll. You should see this question up there right now. I'll give this a couple minutes so that way you guys can log on to this. If we get through all the questions, which there's still a ton, I don't know if we're going to get through this, but the way this is basically going to work, so you guys know, is that I am, for both classes, I'm going basically like you have to get 60% of these questions right, which I don't know where that stands right now. I kind of got to go back. And if everyone gets 60% of these questions right, like more than 50%, get each question 60% of the questions right, then you guys all get extra credit for 5 points extra credit across the board. So, Chris, if you start singing Aladdin, I'm going to kick you out of the class, even in chat. Prince Ali, fabulous he, Ali Ababwa. Okay, so we have 13 people who voted. I need 17 people. 17 people to vote. I need at least like 16, I would think. So we have 14 now. Come on, there's 2 more of you. Put in your votes. I did combine a 5th and 6th period, Evelyn. Yes, I did. All right, so we got 16. It is price floor. Minimum wage is the minimum amount that it takes to hit a certain level. That's why it's like that is the minimum amount, the minimum wage that you're allowed to pay for somebody to live, basically. This is to make sure it doesn't affect people too much. Where if somebody wanted to pay you $2 and there was no minimum wage, potentially they could. And they'll just tell you like, well, good luck trying to find it somewhere. That's why we have a minimum wage. That way companies and people can't be taken advantage of. So, all right, next one. Demographics are a demand or supply shifter. Demographics are a demand or supply shifter. Demographics are a demand or supply shifter. You got 12 votes already. Demographics are a demand or supply shifter. Okay, so we still have 18 people. We have 17 people on. I still need 2 more people at least to vote. We should have all 17 of you vote, but right now we have 14 people. 15 now. There we go. Okay, there we go. Perfect. It is a demand shifter. It is not a supply shifter, it's demand. Demographics of a population matter toward the demand of something. So whenever it affects the actual population of a place, it doesn't have to do with government or anything like that. The actual like population, demographics, things like that, those are all demand shifters. Okay. You guys are much better than the other class. You would have been very upset with the other class for that. All right, number 26. Income is a demand shifter or supply shifter? Income is a demand shifter or supply shifter? And letting you guys all know too that I am planning on opening the test for those of you who didn't hear earlier. One, the test is going to be multiple choice, 30 question multiple choice. Then it's going to be 2 short answers worth 10 points each, and then a 20-point essay. Okay, it's going to be 100 points overall. I have no time limit on it. I can't see if you're not getting graded on this poll thing, Rachel. Don't worry. All I want you guys. This is basically Jeopardy. That's what this is. It's basically a replacement for Jeopardy. Is how I'm looking at it. I'm going to post this video. I'm going to try to post the poll itself. It is extra credit. So yes, Chris is right. So if you guys hit 60%, if everyone gets 60% of the questions right, then everybody gets 5 points extra credit across the board. That's how I'm counting this. Chris, I'm not unmuting you. Not right now. Not right now. We are. No, Rachel, you're not putting the answers on there. If you do, then it doesn't count, and it doesn't count towards the overall thing. I'm not giving you any points for whoever does that. Yes, yeah, I'm sending all the answers. I'm going to try to send the poll out. I don't know. The poll itself doesn't have any answers to it because I didn't want correct or incorrect answers, or for you guys to know what the incorrect answers were. So this is just me, like my general knowledge of it. Then, but you guys can still go through it and look at the questions and try to quiz yourself. I also have the Jeopardy from last year, which has some things that you guys did and some things that you guys didn't do as much. But I'll still post that so that way you guys can look through it. There's no time limit on the test. There's nothing. So you guys do what you need to do. Yeah, but I know I'm talking about because I can't see what you responded. I can't see what you responded. I can only see everyone's response overall. Like I can't see what everyone voted for though. So I don't know what you guys all voted or if you got the answer correct or incorrect. It's just you guys as a class. I can't tell. It's just a poll, right? So I have no clue. Okay, but you guys did get this one right. Income is a demand shifter. That's excellent. So yeah, sure you are. Sure you are, Vasquez. Taxes are demand or supply shifter. It's just, yeah, it's, what do you mean by majority, George? Like just the majority of questions, basically? Or like 50% or above, basically? Yeah, so it's like, if most of you get that answer right, if like, let's say like 9 out of 7 of you got it right, I still count that as you got it right, all right? Yeah, don't worry. It's not like, oh, I'm going to parson it out and like you only get a certain amount of points for certain things. No. That's too much work. I'm just going to give you 5 points or not. All right, so I have 10 people who voted so far. 11. No, you get 5 points, Chris. 5 points max. That's the max that I give on Jeopardy too. So I'm just doing 5. I put 60% because I felt like you guys could hit that bar at least. No, not 6. 5. All right, I need 2 more people to vote. So I'll post all this tonight once this is done. I'm going to post this video too, so that way you guys can look through it again if you have questions. I think that's about it. So yeah, give me some time tonight, but I'll have everything up by tonight. Hopefully by I'm hoping by 6 o'clock. That's I said 4 o'clock at first, but I think that's being a little generous putting everything up by 4 o'clock, but we'll see. Okay, everyone voted. So it is supply. You guys got this right. 13 people voted supply, 4 people voted demand. Taxes do not count as a supply shifter necessarily, or as a demand shifter, although taxes could come into effect, but that's income. However much income, if your taxes go up, that affects your income and how much income you have coming in or how much you're getting back from the government too. So that it doesn't count necessarily as taxes, but I understand your thought process. But taxes are a supply shifter. So, okay, next one. Russia and Saudi Arabia are currently involved in what type of competition over oil? Collusion, perfect competition, price fixing, or price war? Currently involved in what type of competition over oil? Collusion, perfect competition, price fixing, or price war? This one's tough. All right, I have 8 people who voted so far. So 13 people have voted so far. I need 4 more people to vote. Put your answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, perfect. It is price war. Price war. Okay. That is right now they're in the middle of trying to go lower and lower and lower and lower. That is a price war. If they just keep saying, how I talked about well, we're going to go lower right here. Well, we're going to go lower right here. Well, we're going to go lower than that. And then they just keep going. That is a price war. Yeah, George, exactly. Okay. Number 29, the FDA controlling the vaccine for coronavirus is a form of what? Regulation or deregulation? Regulation or deregulation? Get out of here with that, Chris. All right, we have 16 people now in the chat in the class. So I need 3 more people to vote. Put it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So it is regulation. You guys got all this right. This was an easy one. The FDA controlling this is to make sure that the vaccine is not as dangerous or doesn't have any other side effects of taking it for coronavirus or anything else. That is the whole point of vaccines, is to make sure that they're safe. The next one. The Trump administration lifting federal guidelines for companies to comply with environmental standards is a form of what? Regulation or deregulation? Collusion, Chris, is where you go to another company, let's say Comcast went to AT&T or DirecTV or Verizon and was hey, why don't we all just charge the same? We'll just charge $50 each, or they kind of collude and see how much how much they're willing to pay for something. Now they can kind of see what the prices are going to be like anyway, because they can do pretty good research. They don't need to talk to other companies about it; they already know. But this is like generally like you like talking with another company to see how they're going. That's like the brightest my light can go. There we go. That's what it looks like, right, Chris? Tell us what we want to know. There we go. Vasquez, no one cares about your card tricks. All right. You guys got this one correct. It is deregulation. This is if you are lowering the standards for environmental policy, that is deregulating something. That means you're taking regulations off of companies or whatever it is. So, all right, next one. This type of business accounts for 70% of all businesses in the United States. Corporations, partnerships, sole proprietorships, or nonprofits. Shocking, Rachel. You were the one that got that one wrong? Oh, I'm really surprised. All right, we still need 3 more people to vote, I think. Okay. You guys got this one wrong. It's not corporations. It's not partnerships. It's not nonprofits. It's sole proprietorships. Sole proprietorships are the ones that account for 70% of all businesses in the United States. Yeah, that is not corporations. Corporations count for something else. We'll talk about what that is. That was my dog, if you guys were wondering what that was. Next one, population. Population is the demand or supply shifter. Population is a demand or supply shifter. Riley, get over here. Riley, come here. Come here. No, that's Snickers. This one's the big one, Chris. That's Riley. Sit down. Sit down. Yeah, good boy. See, he's harmless. Yes, George. Yeah, one person owning the entire company, and running it basically. Why'd you say rich? Riley cannot swear. No, that's not the TikTok famous one. The TikTok famous one is a little tiny chihuahua. You guys are ridiculous. Even in chat, you guys are just insane. All right. So 14 people. I need 2 more people to vote. No, he cannot talk. I'll throw him a ball. Hold on. There's a ball. Hey, grab the ball. Hold on. Ready. What'd you do? Shut up, Vasquez. It's not a mess. It's just one little thing. All right. Let's do this. It is a demand shifter. You guys barely got this one. 10 people voted demand, 7 people voted supply, but it is a demand shifter. has to do exactly with the population. That is that. I'm going to turn off chat soon too. Stop talking. A business owned by two or more people who agree on a specific division of responsibilities and profits is what? Corporations, nonprofits, partnerships, or sole proprietorships? Hell. No. What's a Dyson swarm? Actually, I don't want to know. Stop. Chris, I'm going to kick you off soon. Stop talking. Okay. Okay. A business owned by two or more people who agree on a specific division of labor or division of responsibilities and profits is a partnership. So you guys got this one correct. It could also be corporate. Anything more than two people basically can be considered a partnership. But there's a difference between partnerships, or corporations, and nonprofits and all that stuff. So next one. Effect of rising cost is a demand or supply shifter. The effect of rising costs is a demand or supply shifter. I don't know, Sandra. Honestly, I don't know when we'll be back in school. I'm hoping that we're back in like May. That's my guess. I'm hoping that we're back like and we have like 3 or 4 weeks maybe. That we can still like do schoolwork, do all the stuff that we need to do. But if that's realistic, I have no idea. I think the governor said that he doesn't expect people to be back in school before the end of summer, but I think that's because we go later. Since we're going in June, I think there's a chance we could, but maybe we just don't want to risk it too. So it is partially true, Vasquez. Yes. Your parents will be getting that money, though you will not be. So I know I feel so bad for you guys. It sucks that we just I don't know what's gonna happen with prom. I'm really hoping that like if we come back in like May or June, like maybe we could do prom and like just do something small like at the school and like I don't know, just have people out there and stuff. I don't know. It just sucks. Yes, you do have to pay for tuition because you're still going to this is still school right now. And you're still going to get a degree. You guys should be lucky too. They're talking about how high school public school kids, like they might have to go back. Like they're talking about how they seriously might have to go back to school or eat into their summer. Like this is exactly what I was talking about with you guys, like saying like I don't know if we'll have to eat in the summer or not. Well, that's the other thing too. I don't know. Maybe we might have graduation, but like only have like your close family members. Like everyone sits super apart, and then but you guys still do graduation. I don't know. I don't know how we pay tuition. I have no clue. I think that's not. I would maybe talk to talk to admin and stuff like that. But I don't think they're that worried about it right now, honestly, guys. So but I don't know. We'll see. Again, this is all really fluid. This all could change in a day, like where it's like things start going down and get to normal. But is that likely? Not really. But like, I just don't know. So, yeah, they're just getting their online classes like in the next 3 weeks for SAC Unified and for Elk Grove Unified too. Like they're not even in school right now or anything. So they might have to eat into their summer because they're not doing any classes at all. And you need to have a certain amount of time in classes. So, because people are losing their jobs. So that's why they're giving money because people have been losing a massive amount of jobs and you can't pay for anything. You can't pay for rent. You can't pay for food. You can't pay for all this stuff. Funny enough, it's basically like socialism. I mean, this is kind of what socialism is. It's like making sure people can survive. So they're giving people money just to make sure that they can get to the next paycheck, whenever that might come. So Yes, you're going to graduate on time. You guys are on time. This is considered. You guys are being considered. That's why it's important for you guys to show up because you're all still in school. That's why you guys are all in school right now. So that's why it's so important that you guys. It's only if you're a citizen too, because it goes off your paycheck from your. It goes off your taxes from your W-2 taxes. So, but there's loop. Or I don't know. So I don't know how this works. I don't know how any of this is going to work. This is brand new. This is not something they've ever done before. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how this turns out. I don't know. So, okay, let's get back to this. Hold on. Last one. You will still get, Sandra, if you have a W-2, then you will get that money. It's true. It's true. Sandra, are you 18? Yeah, Sandra's not 18. Okay, so I think you get 500. I want to say. Again, how this all works, no idea. I have no clue how this is going to work. So don't quote me on that. Yeah, it's only if you work. So like when your parents file their taxes, like it will say like, how many dependents you have. And that's how they're going to decide on how. So if you file taxes as a couple, you're going to get $2,400. And then if you have like 3 kids, for example, you're going to get $500 for each kid. But if it's your parents who do, then that's how it's going to, I think this is how it's going to work. Again, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work. So, okay, never mind. We're going to move on because there's a lot to talk about. We still have some more questions to get through. The effective rising cost is a supply shifter. So you guys got this one correct. So good. You can buy stocks into this type of organization: corporation, nonprofit, partnership, or sole proprietorship. Oh, yeah, the stock thing, George, yeah, is canceled. It's canceled. But hopefully I want to do a project like that in class. I just don't know how to do it without being in person. I had a whole plan to do a stock project. And it's like the stuff we were going to do has to be in person. It's just so hard to do it online or anything. So I don't know. We're going to figure it out. You're going to start buying stocks on Monday, Vasquez? That's not a bad idea. If you want to consider it's a great time right now because they're super low. So, if you guys want to see what Riley, like when I pet his neck, see what it looks like. Okay. Let's see if you guys got this one right. You buy stocks into this type of organization? Yeah. 14 of you have voted, and there's 15 people, I think. Corporations is the correct answer. So you guys are right on that. Let's go to the next one. Cristo Rey is this type of organization: corporation, nonprofit, partnership, or sole proprietorship. This type of organization, Cristo Rey, is a corporation, nonprofit, partnership, or sole proprietorship. Ooh, this is a split one. I need one more person to vote. I think, yeah. I just need one more person to vote. Oh, you guys just got it right. Nonprofit. Oh, are there 16 people who are voting? What the heck? So it is nonprofit. I'll count it. You guys, there's somebody voted twice, I think. It is nonprofit. It is a nonprofit organization. So it is not a partnership, because partnership implies that it's still based on money or making money. That is not the goal of Cristo Rey. It is, the design is for other stuff, for the good of the community, which is you know, like basically like providing a good place for you guys to go to school and things like that. So next one, the Green Bay Packers are what type of organization? Corporation, sole proprietorship, nonprofit, or cooperative? Okay, let's see what we all did. There are 14 votes so far. It is not a nonprofit. It's not a nonprofit. It is a cooperative. It's a co-op. So they are co-operational altogether. That means they're still out there making money, but there's no one central leader or owner of the business. It is a cooperative of people who work there. So it's considered a co-op, or actually it's also considered probably a nonprofit as well. I think they designate themselves as that. I can't remember what the article, but I swore I thought it was a cooperative because you can buy stocks into it and things like that. So it's not a nonprofit. It's still making money. It's different. So yeah, it's a cooperative, I would say. It's more likely what it is. So that one's wrong. Next one. This type of business accounts for 80% of all sales in the United States. This type of business accounts for 80% of all of all sales in the United States. Okay, so a couple more people still need to vote. Go ahead and put your votes in 3, 2, and 1. All right. This is corporations. Corporations are the ones who account for almost 80% of all business sales in the United States. So, yes. Only a couple more. Consumer taste and advertising is the demand or supply shifter. Is this a demand or supply shifter? A couple of you have already voted. We should have about 14 votes anyway. God, Antonio, what are you doing? All right, a couple more people should vote. All right, go ahead and put in your votes in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, it is a demand shifter. Consumer taste and advertising, it is directly going to the consumer. So this affects how their demand is because of their taste in advertising, whatever it is. If they see like an ad that they find cool or whatever it is, that affects demand. That is a demand shifter. Last two, and then if you guys want, I can go back over to the beginning so that way you guys can vote on the beginning ones too. And we can just go through those really quickly if you guys want, but if you're not, you can leave after these two. Monopolies have control over the price of products. True or false? Monopolies have control over the price of products. True or false? Okay, we need 2 more people to vote, basically. 3 more people, I think. Go ahead and put your last vote in 3, 2, and 1. It is true. They have total control over price products. You guys got this one correct. It is true that they have control over the price of their products for the most part. They have pretty much all control because they're the only ones who are making the price. So, last one. Which of these businesses is a good example of monopolistic competition? Airlines, restaurants, cell phones, or cars? Okay, go ahead. Put in your votes. This one's a tough one, so I'm going to probably just give you guys credit on all this too, because I can hear the actually for almost all these can hear the argument for most of them. So, airlines is the one that actually cell phones are the ones where I said that this was kind of like monopolistic competition, but airlines are also the same way. Cars can also kind of be considered this as well, but they have more options. Cars have just way more options. You can buy different cars. There's not like one type of car you can buy. There's a lot of different parity that you can have, but it's usually the same car makers. However, there's a lot of car makers though, so it's not really as monopolistic competition as you would think. Airlines kind of are just monopolies, just straight up, but there's a lot of monopolistic competition though. But there's just not a lot of them anymore. They're more monopolies now. They just are. That's why it's kind of considered monopolistic competition. The one that I was thinking of is cell phones. There's a lot of monopolistic competition in that. Restaurants are the only one where I kind of just consider that no, because restaurants are all over the place, and you can have a really good local restaurant that is. This is kind of just like almost the perfect example of perfect competition. You have corporations that are competing. You have local restaurants. You have a bunch of different stuff. So restaurant industry is the one that I would say is probably not like this. Okay, so if you guys want, you guys are good to go. If you want to take off, if you guys have to be somewhere, and I totally understand. I'm going to start this over. So if you guys want to start from the beginning really quickly, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to unmute you very quickly. You can unmute yourself, Chris, because I know you
Bad choice.
All class. So
Okay, bye, Nietzsche. Thank you.
bye. See you guys.
So Dyson Swarm is basically the closest thing to a Dyson Sphere. Do you know what a Dyson Sphere is, Mr. Neach?
No clue what that is.
A Dyson Sphere is a Type 3 civilization move where they harness the power
Type
of their
3
home.
civilization move.
Is it Type 3 or is it Type 2, George?
I don't know. I didn't know that was
anyways.
an actual term, but I know what it is.
Well, anyways, they harness the power. They harness the
Power of the
energy of
stars.
their parent star. Yeah.
Oh,
Basically, they build these gigantic structures around their star to harness its power.
That's good luck getting all the supplies needed to do that. I don't think there even is enough on Earth.
Well,
the sun is so much more massive than the Earth. How would you even begin?
There's
to get
where the Dyson Swarm comes in, where they basically destroy all of Mercury to get enough materials to make a swarm that orbits around the sun.
Okay. That's enough of that. So we're going to I'm going to start this over. So I'm going to start this over. If you guys want to follow along, if not, don't worry about it. So George, Chris, Lizana, and Jimena, if you guys want to go through the first part of the poll again, I can just we can go through it a little bit, and I can just give you guys ones that I think are good questions, and then we'll spend 10 more minutes on this, and then you guys are good. So, I'll unmute you. Go ahead, Jimena. You can unmute yourself now.
So how exactly do the points and stuff work? I'm confused.
What, on this poll thing?
Yeah.
It's just basically like if 50% of the class gets the correct answer, then I'm counting it as a correct answer. And then I'm going to go through the whole poll and see if you guys got 60% of the questions right. Which I think you guys did. You guys did pretty well at the end. The first class, a little dicey. But I think you guys will be fine. So I think everyone's going to get 5 points no matter what. So.
Okay.
It was just a way for me to do like Jeopardy style stuff without doing Jeopardy. It's basically like what I did. So as long as you guys showed up for and it's as long as you showed up for class at some point, then I'm giving you points. So and it didn't matter when really. So let me make sure I got everybody who was here. Renee wasn't here, right? Alina wasn't. Anthony was not. Vanessa was not. Myra Soto was not. Brittany was not. Carla was not. Marisol was at one point. All right, so I'll go through this. I'll go through this again so that way you guys can get an idea of this stuff. So did Chris leave? Chris left. He wasn't being heard anymore. So, okay. I'm going to unmute you all because I trust you guys. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's do this. I'll start from the beginning. So technology is the demand or supply shifter.
What games have you been playing, Neach?
Been playing Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, nice.
Been pretty good. I've liked it so far, but I gotta see exactly how much. I can't beat this one part right now. It's been like 2 days and I just can't get past it. Like
Gotcha.
So I got to look up but I've also been busy, so I haven't spent that much time on it. But
what have you been doing?
Been working, man. Working on this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This took forever to put this poll together, and then to put the test together too was hard. So I'm glad I got it done. So this one is technology is a supply. So you guys actually brought this grade up because everyone said it was demand from the other class. So almost everybody.
Wait, the test again?
Yeah, it's going up today.
Okay.
It's going up today. So it will be, hopefully, I said 4 o'clock, but I think that's a little generous right now because I have to put up like the video and then this and then a couple other things. So that's, I don't know what time, but I'm hoping like by like 5 or 6 o'clock, I have at least the test up and a couple other things up so that way you guys can study if you want to start. So,
okay.
You're allowed to use open book. So, cost that does not change is a what? Fixed cost, variable cost, or marginal cost? I'm going to move on in 3, 2, and 1. It's fixed costs. So it is a fixed cost. Variable cost is different. There's that's just based off of like what your supply chain looks like, and it could fluctuate really quickly. Marginal cost is you looking at the margins and like trying to figure out exactly how much you're willing to pay for a certain thing based off of how much money you have. Fixed cost is like ahead of time you're going to pay this much amount for that. Next one, regulations are a demand or supply shifter. Regulations are a demand or supply shifter. I'm going to move on in 3, 2, and 1. This is supply. So you guys seem to have gotten that one pretty much right. So supply is what regulations are. Which of these is not a condition of monopolistic competition? Many firms, differentiated products, few artificial barriers to entry, or full control over price. This one's tough.
Neach, I'm gonna leave. I already got all of these, so thank you.
Okay, good. See you later.
Bye.
Oh no.
Okay, so I'll go on to the next one. So it's full control over price is the correct answer for this, which is not a condition of it. monopolistic competitions, they don't have that much control over their price, unlike monopolies. So they have some control, not full control. Next one, subsidies are a demand or supply shifter. It is supply. So that was correct. Good. Next one, the toilet paper crisis is a perfect example of what? Shortage or surplus? Excellent. Shortage. Right. Next one, future expectation of prices are a demand or supply shifter. So this one's tough. This is not a demand shifter. There's consumer expectations, which is consumers are expecting prices. So for example, gas right now, people are expecting that price to go lower in the future. So it is actually supply. There's a future expectation of prices, which is supply. So that one's a tough one. It's kind of a trick one, but it is supply. So that one's wrong. Next one. Which of these is there a surplus of? Paper towels, eggs, or paper towels, hotel rooms, eggs, or toilet paper? Good. Yeah, hotel rooms. There's too many of them. People don't want to buy hotel rooms right now. So yeah. Next one. Changes in global economy is a demand or supply shifter. Yes. So yeah, supply is the correct answer. Next one, standardized quality is an advantage. Or standardized quality is an advantage of which type of these businesses? Okay, I think you all both put it in. But yeah, it's franchises. Franchises are because you expect when you go to like the McDonald's or Starbucks, and Starbucks isn't a franchise, but when you go to any of these places, you're expecting the same type of place each place you go in order to, yeah. So it is franchises. You have the same quality, same standards, same food, same everything. Next one, consumer expectations is a demand or supply shifter. Okay, so yeah, it is demand. It is demand. Number of suppliers is a demand or supply shifter.
Literally has the word supply in it.
Yeah. Two people still got this wrong, George. Yeah, it's a supply. It's supply. So next one. The desire to own something and the ability to pay for it is supply, law of demand, demand, or income effect. All right, I'm going to move on in 3, 2, and 1. It is demand. It is demand. So yeah. When a price is good, when a goods price is lower, consumers will buy more of it. Sorry, when a goods price is lower, consumers will buy more of it. What is this? Supply, law of demand, demand, or income effect? Okay, so we'll do like 2 more, and then we'll call it a day. It is when goods price is lower, consumers will buy more of it. It is law of demand. So yeah, that is the law of demand. When you have a lower price, when prices go higher, people are just going to buy less of that thing. A consumer reaction is to a rise in price is one good is by consuming less of that good and more of a substitute good is called what? That's correct. Substitution effect says in the name. So Yeah, last couple. What is the cost of water for your house? Is what, elastic or inelastic? Is inelastic, correct? Yeah. So because you guys understand this.
All right. Well, is that not the last one?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, do you guys have any more that you want to go through, or you guys pretty much?
Not really.
Okay. All right, that's it. I'll post the rest of these so that way you guys can have them. So.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye, Mr. Neach.
Bye.